Okay, so our next step here is to drill a hole through our aluminium. We've got it in position and we've got our block ready to go. If I swing it around to the back, we can see that now I need to punch a hole in the back there. So for our jack, that's got to go in. Now, as you move in, as you can see the shadow. You can see a shadow of that circle sitting there, just about there. Okay, and that's actually from the hole that we've drilled into this block. No big deal. That's actually going to be our reference point. So if I go across to here and say create hole, and look what happens here. Okay, so I've got my hole tool, which you should have already been happy to play with. I can punch a hole in here nicely. Notice how as I hover over the back of the block, that highlights. However, when I come across to this component, which is our LinkedIn bit, it doesn't seem to allow me to do anything on it. In fact, you can't actually do anything to this because it's a linked file. We're just simply getting an instance of it from the other file, this file here that we've got linked. So this is not going to work. I can punch a hole in that, no problems, but I can't punch a hole in this. So I'm going to cancel that. Come across here where I have that linked thing here. Okay, so now if I right click on that, and that allows me to then break the link. You first of all need to do this. So break the link, and it now is a separate entity. It now no longer refers directly back to this file that we had off the side here. So now when I go to create my hole, I can now, notice I can now hover and it'll actually click on this. Yes, this is the plane that I want to cut the hole into, so I click on that. The size of the hole that I want to jump onto is, from memory it should be 8mm, so I can come over here and type in 8mm. There it is there. Okay, and the depth, I'm going to set the depth at 2mm because that's the thickness of the material. Okay, now I've got a couple of handles. I can change the size by this one here. Zoom in, I can show you, that's the handle to make it larger. Or I just simply want to grab it and move it around. So again, I'll zoom back out again. I'll pick that up and move that around. And you can see straight through, it's pretty cool. All right, so and move that around. And again, there are ways to do this perfectly and precisely, but for today's purposes, look, close is good enough. Okay, grab that and move that down. And I'm using I'll move across here, you can see that hole. If I move across, you can see the hole sitting in the back there. Okay, so I'll move that up there. And I reckon it's about the center. And again, oh, there it is there. You can see the hole, I'm way off. Okay, so again, move that up. Now, I reckon just looking at it, location between that point and that point, I sort of want this to be in the center. It would suggest that perhaps I've got my aluminium strip in the wrong spot. It might be out just by a smidgen. I think a bit more across the center. Yeah, again, look, it's there. I'm happy enough with it. It's a little bit out. No big deal. It'll still work. It's exactly as it was. It's probably a better representation of your design anyway. But that's okay. I'll show you how to fix that up in a second. So I'm going to say that's good enough for me. Again, check 8mm, 2mm deep. I better check, just swing around the side, make sure, oops, it doesn't cut way too. Yeah, no, it's cut through the center. Sorry, it's cut through the aluminium. That's good. All the way through. Beautiful. Okay, I'm happy with that. I click OK. Now, again, go back to my back face. Now, I sort of want that in the right spot. So let's go and fix it up a bit again. Zoom back in again. So over here, right click. Remember I told you we can move this. If I move the aluminium strip, because now I reckon it's probably not in the right spot, I can move that across to the left a bit. So zoom out till I find my handle. There's my handle there. Okay, I can click that. Now that selects that one. That's the one I'm going to move. And if I move it across to the left by say 1mm, not 10mm, say 1. Let's go to 1. Zoom back in again. What do you reckon? It's getting closer. Maybe 1.5, maybe 1. Okay, well, let's go 2. Okay, minus 2. And zoom in and look. No, that's too much. Okay, so move 1.5. 1. Well, again, just play. Have a play. You get it right. And if it's not spot on, no big deal. Yeah, that's good enough for me. That's pretty much in the center. Click OK. Back to home. Oh, sorry, back to the back, I should say. Back to the back shot. Oh, look, man. Looks pretty professional, man. Oh, no, it's actually a little bit low, too. Okay, so again, no big deal. It'll do the job, and that's good enough for me. Okay, don't forget, I thought I mentioned all the way through this, don't forget to save your file at every step, too. Okay, so every change you make, you can see it down the bottom here. You've got your changes. You can go through here and check your changes as you go through. But I would suggest strongly to save your file. It's easy. Save button and away you go. Every way, all the way through. Okay, I'm going to finish up here. Cheers.